guy constantly forcing you to go back to another lane. And if this is a mind control Nature's Prophet and they do something different with the Doom, like maybe putting
Whoa, hey now.
Oh.
All right, that's another hero that's really good against Drow. Magnetic Field.
It's not that great, though, because the Drow ult pierces a
Yeah, what's the chance?
It's 20.
You play this hero?
25%? Yeah,
but then you miss the other. It's a 70%. It's a really big damage reduction, even if marksmanship hits.
Yeah.
It's good. It is good.
It's actually higher than. I should know this. I feel ashamed right now. This is like my bread and butter.
But regardless,
No
it's
numbers.
it's good against Shadow Fiend's right clicks as well, right? It's
Yeah,
good
it
against
is.
ranged right clicks, and it's another hero that has reach. Arc Warden has pretty long reach. Both the Spark Wraith and the Flux spells have long cast range, and Arc Warden is a hero that likes sometimes going pike. You get more attack range. And again, it just fits into this idea of, hey, you guys are going to 5-man. We are going to have a secondary hero that can now defend towers and split push.
I think you need a Centaur.
I was going to say, BSJ, what do they need? You said that last time.
I think it's Centaur. Like, that's the only hero I see. They need a
This
way to
Omni
get on
has
top
to
of
be
this
3,
Arc
Brian.
Warden.
There's no way.
I told you it's not going to be
Omni
a 3
5.
Omni. It's not going to be a 3 Omni. There's no way they draft like this and make it a 3 Omni. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, he's saying you're wrong. Don't you let him
I'm saying
get out of
that
it.
you don't understand Eternal Envy.
You don't understand.
That doesn't make
That
you
is
wrong.
absolutely a true statement.
That doesn't make you wrong, but I've been born and bred in the streets of NA, you know, and this is what we get. We get first-round Omnis deceiving you into making it a 30 position.
born into it.
Yes, I've been.
Okay.
I've
Melded.
molded.
by it.
Yes.
At least, again, this hero plays into the overall strategy.
Okay.
Beastmaster, get that attack speed aura, empower your Drow and the Shadow Fiend, and take some towers and play aggressive. He also gives them the possibility to catch these split-pushing heroes off guard, because Beastmaster kind of offers a little bit of both. It's that 5-man from the aura, and it's the catch from the roar. So if Nature's Prophet or Arc Warden are split-pushing all the time, and they're trying to avoid fights, maybe you could do something cool with a Beastmaster +1 gank, kill them on the side lane, and that enables your push. But honestly, to me, these last 2 picks from Nigma kind of really have me convinced that this is their game.
Hey, man, I said Snake King's their momentum-based. Give them last pick. Make them carry you through this game. I honestly think they have a legitimately higher than 0% chance to win this game on the side of fighting PandaS, which
Me
is
too.
probably
Well,
more than
I also think they have a more than 0%.
let's be honest. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but going into this series, we are all like, So I actually like the fact that they, like you said, have a clear game plan. Yeah. I still think Nigma's going to take it, but I'm just looking to see that mid-game timing coming out. As long as that Beastmaster is a good start, that's my a little, you know.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, we have the draft, and we talked about the draft can't be a loss for FP. It can't. If it is, it's over.
In my opinion,
was this a loss?
I think so. I think this is
It's a minor loss, but they have...
It's not a stomp
Yeah.
of the tier that we saw with the IO Tiny game earlier,
Okay.
where they just trashed them.
If they get slightly ahead, their lineup snowballs real hard.
It's just something we like talking about is ease of execution, right?
Yeah.
And this Radiant lineup, I think some parts of it are easy, but I think the real difficult thing for this type of lineup in this game is setting up the map in a way that you can make the play that you want.
Yeah.
Right? When you're constantly playing against Nature's Prophet and Arc Warden, who is going to be clearing the waves? So you get to make the move. Can Beastmaster do it alone?
No.
Drow and Shadow Fiend are not very mobile.
Well, we are ready to get into our game. We're going to find out if this FP team is going to be able to take down Nigma. Let's get right into the game and to our casters.
Thank you very much, Rob. Yeah, looking forward to this one a lot. Fighting PandaS versus Team Nigma best of 3. Should be exciting to see this. We've just seen the drafts come out, you know, sort of a Drow lineup with that Beastmaster finisher very much. We want to end the game, and then Team Nigma coming in and saying, well, we're going to play a bit of Arc Warden.
We're going to chill, we're going to strategize, we're going to spread you across the map and slowly wear you down.
And do you sort of agree with the panel? This is going to be a tough one for Fighting PandaS?
I definitely believe in what BSJ said.
Yeah.
They do have a chance. They have a strong lineup that can roll out of control early on. But you're playing into an Arc Warden and a Prophet. And you're playing versus a team that should be strategically better than you, which means that they are going to be able to split push them all the time, buy themselves some time until that Arc Warden is just unstoppable.
Sure, but because this is sort of a strategy I feel like we do see a lot of the teams do when they're in like a series where they feel like they're the underdogs, right? They go for this lineup that it doesn't want to mess around with the game in that sort of post 30, 40-minute game state. It wants to sort of outplay you in the lanes mechanically, get everything together, and just not give you the chance to outmaneuver them in those late-game team fights.
And I actually believe that that's the right approach. When you are the underdog, chances are you can win lanes. Lanes are the easiest part.
Because
in
you
this
play it
game.
so much, right?
You play it so much. Anyone
game.
Can. Exactly. Every game you play lanes,
Every
right?
game you play lanes. Not every game you play the late game.
Exactly. And after the laning stage, you actually need some brains involved. You know, you have to think about how you're rotating and all this stuff. Lanes can be won mechanically. And then if you're strong enough as 5-man, you can just straight up push and win off of a couple of good team fights. So.
I mean, obviously we're talking about the push, but talking about sort of the lanes and the lane matches up specifically, do you believe that looking at these 3 lanes, fighting PandaS, they've got some good favoured matchups?
Not really.
No, okay.
That's the problem as well. I don't believe in their lanes way too much. To Disruptor and the Drow Ranger, I thought that was a good lane to have, as you have that Thunderbolt on a hero constantly proccing, which gives Drow the vision to attack. But what about the mid lane? Didn't we expect an Arc Warden perhaps here?
Indeed, we are playing the leader this game. Arc Warden will not be in his hands here as he steps up for the 1v1 against Bryle's SF. Of course, Bryle standard taking that raise level 1 to make sure that he can secure CS here to start things off.
From what we've seen from these 2 players, GH.
All right,
Well,
Envy.
there we go.
He's back. He really is. It's been a while since I've got the chance to see a good old Eternal Envy game, and here he goes, straight onto the stage here at LAN and gets himself a first blood.
He's done it. He's back. But, you know, Arc Warden on mid is so good because you have that Flux and Spirits that are single target focused, right? You want to attack one hero. When you're playing versus 2, they can just stick together and eat all that damage.
Sure,
just
but you feel if you go mid as the Arc Warden, you could
have
pretty handedly destroy the SF.
Maybe you can destroy him. Maybe SF still wins like after a couple of waves, right? When he gets souls. But I think overall, Arc Warden is better suited to be solo laning as he gets the experience. And this guy, not only does he want level 6, he wants level 10 as soon as possible for that talent of his.
A very interesting lane to watch up here. Of course, 2 heroes that have been recently hit by the nerf hammer, the Doom and the Drow. Still 2 heroes that I feel we are you're going to see a fair few times, especially the Doom, of course, as we've seen already with the Drows. But even the Drow, even with the nerfs, fundamentally the hero still has the sort of strengths that she was being picked for before the patch.
I think she's really good in this game because of the SF. You make Bryle work. We've seen a couple of SFs today, and they didn't work because they have no steroid hero next to them, no one that pumped them up, right? Drow with her aura definitely does that.
Tower is under attack.
Seeing the CS at the moment up on top, Envy 6 for 2, Miracle 10 for 1, so Nigma still able to secure that slightly better lane, at least in terms of getting the farm for their position 1s.
Kind of to be expected, right? Lina versus SF as well, on the mid lane doing a bit better.
The bottom lane, not to really focus on, but here we have it, Kuro on his support, Rubik and Moon on the support Disruptor. We're mid lane. We have a bit of an outplay there. It was Weeha. He's able to get the solo kill on Bryle, so Bryle obviously with a bit of a misstep, and you've got to be careful around that matchup. A couple of nukes and you're dead.
We're not going to even give him the courtesy of going back mid. We're not going to even look at where he died. Very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that's certainly going to hurt. You give that sort of a lead, that boost in XP to the Lina, suddenly that 6 is coming online a little sooner, and you're getting to that point where you can't really show your face in lane. And
he just wants to go jungle, right? That's it.
You've got to be ready to sort of ride the lane off. And we'll actually get to see the replay here. Beautiful stuff. As we are able to see indeed. It was just a bit of an overextension there from Bryle, playing around a little too low, not quite doing the numbers, as Weeha comes in with that Dragon Slave and pushes him over the edge. Another sort of repeat here situation. Maybe we'll go the other way this time. Bryle steps in, but we are again a second outplay. Bryle, that's I mean, maybe showing some sort of frustration in the mid lane there, especially with that second attempt going in underneath the tower.
Man,
if you die twice there in that matchup, that lane, it's kind of over now.
That's where you write in, guys, gank pulse.
Yeah,
gank pulse. That's it.
You start mangoing up and head into the jungle there. We saw Bryle trying to pop those mangoes, get in for those raises, but again, getting caught out and just reading the situation a little bit wrong.
That was so well played by Rui as well. We love to hate on him recently because their performances haven't really been that great, but so far in this particular game, he's definitely.
Oh, he's going to be very happy with the start that he gets. It's bottom lane, bit of action as Kuro will be chased down. They've got the Thunder Strike, trapping him down as well with the kinetic field. Kuro, he's just going to start turning, indeed, with the Treants as well. Moon cannot win this engagement on his own. He needs Snaking to get in, but Snaking can't quite close the gap on Kuro. Moon's got to still keep his distance. Turns with the Mango Thunder Strike. That little bit of a slow with each tick stops Mind Control from being able to take off the salve of Moon Meander, as Moon Meander will be able to heal up.
That's also so very good for him, as he's going to port base, right? And then he can teleport back into the lane. Perfectly timed for the bounty room fights.
Yeah.
And now they're all low. Disruptor had to go back, but he's back, full HP.
Yeah. And this mid lane now, as I was talking
damage.
about, you've got to be careful. The double damage and now having that 6 on Lina. We are an incredibly scary killing machine at this 5-minute point of the game. As it's already been maybe 2 deaths too many from Brawl in that matchup. He's got to keep it cool, head to the jungle, make sure that he can catch up in farm. Because Weehar's going to have the potential to make some great movements with this start that he's had in the 1v1.
The thing is, when you're playing this SF and Drow, your SF is the one that's supposed to have the most farm, right? The Drow can rotate back to the jungle to farm a little bit, but it's on Brawl to be that machine, that turret that stands up front, just soaks up the damage and hits everyone even harder, right?
Yeah, and they have got what the means to do that, right? Having this support Omni and such, they can build towards that point where Brawl can present himself at the front, but you see in mid lane, GH coming in, trying to make life for Brian that little bit worse. They'll drag him back straight into the burst of the Laguna Blade. Brian tries to start with the raises, but he cannot get the kill. GH is able to step back, salve up, and now Nigma, they could take a second. They'll bring down Aoi. Moon's tried to come in, but with 2 heroes already down, can they really turn much around? They will get GH, but the rest of Nigma will be more than fine as they can step themselves back. And again, so much pressure. You know, Nigma's realized the weak point Brawl. He suffered in lanes with those 2 deaths already. Now they're just trying to tilt him out of the game.
They're just completely tilting him out. That's it. Maybe before it was, guys, please help on the lane, please gank. Now it's just,
And wait, he's just able to get a free move there onto Envy, catching him out with the rotation. And this is the worry, right, for finding PandaS. When the enemy Lina's had such a good start, she can go to top lane, she can go wherever she wants. She's going to have the damage with her spells to burst any of these heroes.
And remember, if she doesn't have the spell damage necessary, there's always MC to either use his ulti or teleport there and help her out.
We'll see. Fighting PandaS are going to try for a bit of an objective play here. The 3 of them group up, looking to push in with Snaking. He's got the 6, has got the Roar for setup.
You can do this as long as Lina isn't there, but Lina is doing something even better. She's taking your mid. And do you really want to make this trade? You're setting so many heroes on that safe lane of yours, right? That we is completely fine to hit the mid tier 1 even without mana.
It's going to be a slow start for Brawl in terms of playmaking. CS-wise, though, as you can see, he has kept it cool. Despite the 3 deaths, he's still managing to get the farm. So definitely making the best out of a bad situation.
When you look at the net worth as well, he's only 500 behind we, but it's about the levels as well. Lina is doing really well right now and can rotate wherever he wants to. I think the worst part for FB is going to be this mid-tier 1. It's going to be taken super fast by Lina. And remember, on top lane, long lost and forgotten, there's an Arc Warden still farming completely alone.
For sure. And the question is, if you're fighting PandaS, and again, no. They want him gone. They want him smashing his keyboard. They want him DCing from the game. Another kill on Brawl. Poor old Brawl, he just cannot catch a break on his SF.
He's not feeling the Christmas spirit right now at all.
As this is turning into some straight up bullying here, at least fighting PandaS, they will get an objective in turn. They'll take down the bottom tier 1.
If you're Nigma, do you really care about this tier 1 even? It's like the most insignificant one too.
We are actually able to get the catch here onto Aoi. Aoi trying to step away. Extra status resistant, they'll drag him back though. And Aoi has no escape. Weeha now unstoppable with his Lina as he just continues to go wherever he wants, and he's become this great leading force for the team where they can just follow him, and they know wherever the Lina goes, there's going to be blood in their favor.
That was also without his ulti that he rotates in. Moon Meander as well. This is probably a dead disruptor.
Try for the drag back there with a glimpse. Gives him a little bit of time, but the Treants, they're chasing him down as well as the creeps. As Moon will fall another kill. for Team Nigma. As you know, we were saying that ideally for this draft of Fighting Pandas, they want to get to this point where they can group up and start to push, but when you're starting to hemorrhage kills as much as they are up and down the map, it's going to be hard for them to get together as a 5-man force and for them to be that scary to Nigma, because Nigma's got the deep push, they've got the counterplays.
The problem is, you got crushed so hard in the laning stage on bottom and mid that you can't even pressure this Arc Warden. Minute 9, he had the Midas. He's almost level 8, I believe, 7 or 8. He's very far.
Here, look.
There.
Much faster than the average buy time there, of course, brought to us by Gosu AI.
Usually you're not supposed to go help out the dead SF 5 times in a row on mid lane, and you can pressure the Arc Warden, but in this game, they didn't have that luxury.
There we go. They're certainly, you know, they're making things happen with the little that they've got so far. They'll look to take another tier 1 tower, and they will get it. There'll be no attempt here from Team Nigma to turn up for this defense, so another objective will be claimed by the Pandas. See Moon as well, able to get some good deep wards down into the cover of smoke. This will be unlikely to be found out. No wards from Team Nigma themselves here in their own jungle. So
what I really like about tier 1 teams is that they do not fight for every single objective. They realize that even when they're winning, they have to trade some things. Miracle might fall here.
I mean, this would be a huge catch if they can get it. And with the glimpse back, they'll drag him in. They're on top of him. That's a huge kill for Fighting Pandas. Miracle has had a free game up until now. They are starting to make the movements work. They're getting these objectives, they're getting the kills.
Look, it definitely is a really good kill for them, but at the same time, when you're an Arc Warden and you die this late into the laning stage, you're kinda alright.
Sure, but you're already that far ahead.
You already used your Midases, you die for a couple of seconds, you come back, your Midas is off cooldown. Oh great, let's go farm some more.
Still impressive to see with those objectives and kills. Bryle has taken the top spot in net worth, despite the consistent bullying from Nigma in the laning stage. We'll see. A play attempted here onto Snaking, see if there's any sort of save that Aoi can offer. Trying his best to get Snaking out of there. Won't be able to cut himself out of the Sprout before the Light Strike array lands, as Snaking will fall. Even deeper, GH, he's going to try and catch another. Static Storm will be dropped down, and they do have the raises from Brawl coming into play. They'll turn and get GH. Big Nature's Wrath bounces in, and along with the Fade Bolt, Aoi gets nuked down as well. Moon lucky to get away on a slither of health.
I also love how GH just runs in there. He knows that most likely he will fall, but if he buys them enough time for them to follow up and take down an SF perhaps, then it's great. This way, I don't think that was a good exchange for Nigma. It's not like he had to die there, as he has more network than the enemy supports, but overall they're still asserting dominance, and that's also pretty damn good.
Of course, while this has all been going on, Envy has been quietly farming away. Of course, not quite at the pace of the cores on Team Nigma. They are very hard to keep up with, but once Envy sort of has his first item with the Dragon Lance, he can turn up, sort of sit on the back lines, fire out a multi-shot, and maybe pick up a couple of kills. They've got enough control. Glimpse back, he'll go for the Sprout, TP out, they got anything to cancel with the Glimpse already used. Oh, they have got the Roar, they'll pop it. Make sure that he cannot get away.
He basically just forced them there to use Roar, right? As he was TPing away, that's all. But they are still making plays. They haven't been tilted completely by the laning stage, and that's very good.
Dire's middle tower.
A little bit of pressure here onto Envy as he farms from the tree line, but the rest of his squad are in the neighborhood, at least Moon is ready to move down and set something up. Static Storm available once again, as well as Brown now hitting the level 12. And with the Treads drums, you know, as I say, this man's still got great farm upon him.
Treads drums, and you have Drow plus Beastmaster and the Omni Knight.
You've got the buffs.
Yeah, you got the buffs. You can, very soon, they will start trying to take down these other remaining towers. And I'm just afraid for them, because there is an Arc Warden.
It's still the Arc Warden problem.
Yeah, and Nature's Prophet constantly just trying to creep skip for split push. Strategically, this game is super hard for Radiant.
They have, of course, managed to take those 2 out of tier 1s so far. The mid-tier 1 still standing for Nigma.
At the same time, I haven't seen a lot of Arc Warden in the recent patches. All I've seen are nerfs to him, right? The Spirit nerf, the Flux nerf as well, so I'm not so sure how strong he is at the moment.
Oh, here we have it. They are now ready to get Envy involved in the plays. It's Moon. He's on the hunt, looking for a catch. Snake King has got Primal Roar back up. See if they can get the wraparound. Weehaw would be a very juicy kill to find, but he's keeping himself safely positioned on the other side of the trees, and now with them showing, Weehaw will keep himself well aware.
They knew exactly where they are. Oh, we needs to be careful there.
He's playing a little close to them.
Yeah, just gets the Wolf, 200 gold, easy. That Wolf is
If they get the vision, and Weehaw's got to be he's
playing
keeping out in the shadows.
Yeah, he's playing in the shadows and he's always in one spot, so even if you glimpse him, you're only going to glimpse him for a second and that's it.
You're not necessarily going to be able to set up the follow-up, but at the same time,
he's playing with them.
GH and Kuro, they're trying to get a wraparound whilst Fighting Pandas get drawn towards Weehaw, but Fighting Pandas, they'll play it smart. They're happy with taking the objective. They'll back off.
The seeds of
It's also minute 15, right? You want to go for those bounty runes.
Radiant's
Also farm some neutral items.
Yeah, looks like it will be 2 for 2 on the bounties.
I'm actually surprised they are only 3k ahead right now, even after all those kills they had on Braille. Plus the fact that he got one of the fastest Midases ever on Arc Warden.
No, I guess it's just, Braille SF, it is one of his most comfortable heroes, and in that situation, it's going to be a hero where it doesn't really matter how many times he dies in the mid lane in terms of his own game movements, because he's going to be able to catch up in farm. Obviously, the way that it hurts them the most is the fact that you've given that bit of a boost to Weehaw, where he may not have usually had it as a Lina.
One problem that I see also for Nigma is the fact that they have these 2 glass cannons, right? You have the Lina and the Arc Warden, and they kind of do similar things in team fights, right? They stay back and they fight from distance. I'm not certain this Doom is going to be enough to just run into a Drow and an SF and stay alive for long enough.
Now, certainly if Fighting Pandas get any sort of setup and catch, they're just going to have the physical damage and combo to rip you down and take you out. The sort of the multi-shot, Brawl being able to stand on the front lines with this beefiness that he's building up, and especially with the ring on top of the drums and Ogre Club.
Another reason why I'm not the greatest fan of Arc Warden right now is the fact that even though you're ahead and you've been winning your lanes, you haven't been able to convert that into objectives.
He's going to try for a pick on Moon here in front of the rest of the team. Aurora's going to come out. Static Storm's there as well. Envy turns with the multi-shot. They will lose Moon here to the Mind Control Nature's Wrath, as Nigma won't lose anyone themselves, and now Nigma, they're ready to try and chase for more. Snake King cuts his way out of the Sprout. Brawl revving up a Requiem in case Nigma continue to chase, and they will do so. Position on the high ground, try and push them back here with the fear. GA is going to be popped as well as Fighting Pandas play on the fully defensive, continuing to try and back out, but Weehar's got a further catch. The Yule's combo onto Aoi takes out his Omni Knight. As Fighting Pandas, they'll do best to just get everybody else out of there. See if Nigma can get any more further catch. Brawl sort of stutter-stepping back there and towards the action. He's got to be careful. Maybe he feels confident with Moon and Snake King being able to turn. They get the glitch back, but Brawl's been sprouted. They could turn right click. They just clean out GH. He falls in a matter of seconds. The bubble's out. They're standing their ground, Nigma, trying to turn things around. But with GH gone, can they actually turn this? They've lost Weehaw. Snake King's able to find the trade. And Envy, he's now done. He's poking at Mind Control from the sidelines. He's still a little bit scared of getting close because Miracle will soon be there to help out. The bubble's in. Heals there from Aoi. And Envy can retreat. Not chase from Aoi. No way to cancel Mind Control's TP, but they have the damage to kill him before he can escape. Glimpse catch as well. Moon, he has the core to catch. He's trying to TP. Have they got the damage? They haven't. Miracle will escape.
That's just a great team fight for Fighting Pandas. If you notice the way they were fighting, they first attacked onto the Dire Shrine, right? But then they fall back, but not really. They fall back a little bit, then fight again. Fall back a little bit to the high ground where they're the strongest. You're fighting versus Lina and an Arc Warden. From your high ground, you have the advantage. First, they're missing. Second, you have Drow and SF just hitting from that high ground. In the end, they just turned on them completely because they knew that Nigma were out of resources.
No, impressive maneuvers from Fighting Pandas for sure against that sort of pressure that Nigma was applying, and definitely a situation where I felt that Nigma just getting a little too cocky with their aggression. As Fighting Pandas show them that they're not afraid to turn and fight. They're not just going to run around and try and escape like headless chickens. They see an opportunity to turn, trade kills, they'll take it. The question, of course, though, is how much can they do with each of these fights? The ping's been made onto Roshan. They need to continue to find these objectives so they can play at a pace that allows them to win the game against the Arc Warden. Because, of course, as it still stands, Miracle is continuing to creep close, further and further ahead ahead of anyone on the side of Fighting Pandas.
So far, they are doing everything properly. Besides the feeds in the laning stage, that's not really that great when you die 3 times in the span of 3 minutes. But after that, strategically, they've done everything properly.
And certainly keeping their cool, and Bryle absolutely showing that he is not a man that can be tilted when he's on the safety and comfort of his SF. It's now level 15, Bryle still the powerhouse, only being less than 1k behind an Arc Warden that had a 9-minute Midas. You're very happy as the Shadow Fiend.
Right?
Exactly.
You have a BKB Aegis, Essence Ring, drums. Right now, if you're this SF, you are able to tank.
Yes.
You can just go in front and take down towers. This is one of the issues that I've noticed with Nigma's draft, right? You have too many glass cannons hitting from distance. You don't have anyone that can just step into the fray and tank up all that damage. Make this wall between Arc Warden, Lina, and the rest. GH is trying to be that wall, but he dies so fast. He has Tranquil's Buckler Blink, I believe, now. It's not good enough.
And an excellent find there from Snake King. He's able to grab a Ring of Aquila from the jungle, so you'll imagine that it's almost certainly going to go the way of Drow if MV does have a slot available. And all these little extra bits that will allow Fighting Pandas to continue to make this 5-man that they have that little bit stronger. As another move, they move up for the tier 2, and you can see, Nigma, they know they're not really cool to fight them at any chance now. They've got to be very careful, Nigma, about the way they choose to take their fights, even if it's on their side of the map. Nigma, they want the game to continue to slow down. Fighting Pandas, they're doing their best to not give them that breathing room.
Yeah, you can see that Fighting Pandas, they're moving back a little bit, out-pushing mid. Their goal should be to out-push top and mid all the time right now. But the problem is bottom is being pushed as well. So eventually you will have to send someone to defend the high ground on the bottom lane. I don't think they will defend the tier 2 at all.
See this move here from Fighting Pandas trying to get into the jungle. Now on the split push cam, as you see, Miracle standing his ground down on the bottom. Continue to see how much he can force out before he has to sort of return and help the rest of his team defend.
Moon and Snake King show themselves right now, and instantly because of that, Mind Control ports bottom and starts split pushing where Miracle left off, right? He just continues doing that. If you are Fighting Pandas right now, it's all about vision. You have to keep Disruptor and Beastmaster somewhere out of vision so that they cannot split.
They're going to try and fight in the mid here. They'll take the tower, they'll start to back off. Nigma's stepping forward, they want to go for this, but Brown pops the BKB, the red win turns for the raises. GA's out as well as Fighting Pandas. They're at maximum strength, they're ready to fight. They'll look for Mind Control. Can the Crimson Guard saving the bubbles out? Mind Control still running where he'll get out. Kura actually with the stolen red win. He's ready to turn. They've lost 2, they've lost 3, they've lost 4 on Fighting Pandas. The Aegis is out, and his second life is as well. Nigma kill off Bryle twice. As this time they'll punish them, push them away. Actually, before the tier 2 went down, they keep the tower up. They get in, and the push is put to an end. And anytime you lose a fight like that as Fighting Pandas, that's a big scare for your lineup.
That's the oldest trick in the book. While they're pushing, split push another lane. Wait until someone ports. Once he ports, engage and fight 4 versus 5, which is advantages for you.
They're not done yet. We are stepping up to the high ground, having a bit of a poke at Envy. Doesn't want to commit with the full combo. Just happy to keep him at bay. Weehar will get glimpsed back into the Static Storm. They should have the damage here with the multi-shot from Envy. They do. Envy, he kills him off. So we're going to look towards Miracle's double here, see if they can get to any of the heroes in the back lines. You see Snake King already moving, trying to find someone, trying to potentially hold someone back. Another TP outside of the tree line. Kuro will get away before they have any vision for any sort of further catch. But we are a bit of a misplay there. Stepping up to the high ground like that, you're setting yourself up for a glimpse.
Nigma right now, they have the smarts, but not really the strength yet to just push it so bluntly like that. They can't just walk uphill. It's not possible. They need to make more plays like they did before around that mid-tier 1.
I think you could sort of see Weehar realizing his error when he stepped up, went for the ores, and was like, oh, there's a disruptor there. I'm going to try and get out of here. But of course, Moon very easily able to grab him back there as we getting a little carried away. They do take the tier 2 tower, but with the Lina gone, the game will slow down again, which of course isn't the biggest worry of Nigma, but it does give that extra chance for Fighting Pandas to get another big push together.
I think if you're Fighting Pandas, you're also worried about the late game. Even though you have Drow and the SF, you are playing versus an Arc Warden, and whenever you play versus an Arc Warden, you do feel stressed. Eventually, he's going to have so many items, and he's going to start just sending out his clone and killing off your supports one by one.
For sure. You're always going to have that side lane that's being shoved in against you, where you know, as the game goes on, it's harder and harder to find that situation where you have both side lanes pushed out and you're ready to fully commit as a 5-man down the mid lane. Miracle's going to make sure that the game state never gets to that point for you as a team.
And he's already at the point in which he just sends his clone and forces a core to rotate to kill off the clone. The supports can't do it any longer.
It's, of course, good money for Envy. Plus 300 each time there with the double being taken out.
Oh, I love this build, by the way, by Bryle. Skadi gives him tankiness. He already has the damage. He's receiving it from the Drow Ranger, from the Beastmaster, so Skadi does make sense.
Still, of course, this game creeping on into closer and closer to Arc Warden territory. Miracle's lead continues to grow. Towers continuing to be taken as Fighting PandaS movement will get more and more restricted.
You can see Miracle going for that Shadow Blade as well. It's going to allow him to just, once the pushes start, he can pop that Shadow Blade, catch support off guard, eliminate one out of the game, and then they have an easy team fight.
Radiant's top tower.
We'll make it just that a little bit harder for them to catch him without bringing in the correct resources to hunt him down. As Envy closing in on having his Manta at completion. But to clean up another tier 2 tower, Nigma will be bringing in defenses though. Already Miracle sending the double out to clear out the push. They do have the full 5-man around this area Fighting PandaS. But again, sort of, even just when the Tempest double shows its face, Fighting PandaS know that they've got to be very careful how they stick around for a push. Last time they tried to do that on the tier 2 mid, it did not work out too great for them. It ended out losing their own tier 2 tower.
They're just respecting Nigma way too much. In that situation, perhaps they can continue pushing, scout out for more Moon, and then glimpse back. You can see he's very aggressive now.
Oh, he is. Just goes right behind the tower, Moon. Scouting them out, trying to read the situation. He'll go for the quick catch on mind control, jumping for GH. He gets the Doom down onto Brav. He can just turn, offer up his right click. The static sword's put down to try and spread the rest of Nigma away. They'll use the Roar on GH, but Fighting PandaS, they're playing very reserved. They know that they cannot get the quick kill. They're quickly backing off. Envy's trying his best to deal with the counter push from Miracle. They've lost Moon. Nigma get the one catch on the Disruptor, but the split push indeed from Miracle is too much. Alone, Envy could not deal with this Arc Warden at this stage of the game, with him being so far ahead. He just walks in and takes the racks underneath his nose.
Yeah, just taking that tier 2 on the bottom lane, or even trying to push it as 5, sounds like such a bad idea. You're so far away from Rosh, you're so far away from top and mid, which you should be taking. You should be warding that area, right? So that they cannot squeeze out, they cannot just do what they just did, and that's they crafted for nothing, for free.
And another free catch in. Looks unless Snaking can get any sort of help. They'll burst him down low. Mind control comes in with a TP. They have got backup. Brawl steps in. GH pot. Snaking will be safe. GH tries to jump in, but Fighting PandaS, they're good to fight. The multi-shot's out. Envy turns his attention towards GH, kiting the Drow away. With the Frost Arrows and the Skadi, mind control is slowed down to his grave. They'll jump forward for Wee. Glimpse back. 2 kills. Double kill for Envy. Miracle still continue to try and scout out here.
He has
Cover the shadows with that Tempest double, but they won't go indeed for the kill on it. Fighting PandaS a good bit of a turn for them. They struggled with the last 2 plays they made. Poor Moon may suffer the effects of having this double on his own, but he's got the invis, and then with that can kite it up, so Moon will not fall to the Tempest double play.
You need Glimmer or Ghost as a support in this game, especially as Moon. If you don't have it, you die.
They still want to go for Brian. He's got a read on him. He's going to get the setup here with the Requiem, but Miracle's actually able to dodge out the Souls, and who will simply just step away. GH is also able to blink out of this. No catch there quite in time from Fighting PandaS, but they're getting aggressive once again. Let's see if they can do something this time. The last 2 plays they made on this side of the map, on the mid lane tier 2 and the bottom tier 2, have ended in disaster. They're going to try for the solo pick up on Kuro, drag him back with the glimpse. Nigma, they still have Miracle trying to turn. He's trying to continue to poke at those pesky supports, but he cannot quite do it. The double will fall.
This is all smoke and mirrors. What matters is bottom lane. It's being pushed in, and it's going to force Fighting PandaS back. It doesn't matter what you're doing on their side of the map unless all of your lanes are pushed out. And versus Furion and Arc Warden, that is so difficult to do.
It's very hard for them now at this point. You know, getting to this 30-minute mark. This is the period of the game that we were worried about Fighting PandaS draft reaching. At this stage, it's very, very hard for them to make moves that sort of get the game back, you know, the momentum back behind them. At this stage, it's the Arc Warden's game to play. you've got to try and catch it. You've got to hope that Miracle messes up. That's sort of your best shot at this point in time. If Miracle keeps his game clean and keeps these split push movements going, it's very hard for Fighting Pandas to find a way out of this now.
The problem is, even if his game isn't so clean, if they catch him once or twice, you have to catch him and mind control, because they both do the same thing. And they already took one of your sides. If they take another, your game is very rough.
And you see mind control's farm, right? He literally is another carry right now. He's pretty much got the same net worth as Envy on his drow. Just being in that position free, the mind control is. There's 3 very scary cores on Team Nigma's lineup. Fighting Pandas, they need big catches. They'll get GH, a support kill to start it off. It's not enough, though. They really need something more than that, and it doesn't look like they'll get it with Team Nigma getting out there. Maybe Envy can find the catch, will find Kuro with the multi-shot, but the cores, they've already escaped. Axes are out. Brawl will be used. It's 2 support kills. What can they do with it, though?
I don't want to be a broken record, but look at mid and bottom again, right? The same thing is happening. Even though you're taking this outpost, but your bottom lane is going to be pushed in, your mid lane is going to be pushed in. However, I do think that Nigma, they're losing a bit more heroes than they necessarily have to. On that fight before, we died. Now there's a Rubik and Doom. Maybe Doom alone is enough, and then you just bail. They try to make these cute fights, but at the same time, when you're making them work for you, when you're making them fight a little bit longer, it buys time for Miracle and Furion to split push, and that's the name of the game for Nigma.
Just a little bit of downtime here, Envy. He's good to go. We are good to get the show back on the road. But as every minute passes, the difficulty of this game 1 increasing exponentially for Fighting Pandas.
Yeah, this Blink Dagger as well from he wants to be another one. He wants to be another rat.
Yes, he can push.
They're infested right now.
And he's so hard to punish, as you say, with that item build. All 3 cores, very slippery. Almost too slippery at this point, it seems, for Fighting Pandas to deal with.
It would be really great if 3 cores of Fighting Pandas could work without Disruptor and maybe perhaps even Beastmaster, so that they can hide on the side lanes, right, and make traps for these rats, for the Miracle and for Mind Control.
No, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Very hard for their cores to make plays on their own, really. Whereas, as you've seen, Nigma's heroes, their cores individually, the Lina, the Arc Warden, they have a lot of solo killing potential if Fighting Pandas have any heroes caught out of position.
The thing is, sometimes though, not sometimes, very often I see Arc Warden games in which they're winning, right? And then a few team fights go wrong for them and they just lose after a really long period of time, even though it's kind of counterintuitive, because usually you expect Arc Warden to win super late. Super late, he's not as strong as in this, like 35 to 50 minutes.
Nigma, they're going to try and poke here. GH will be having everything thrown down in the Static Storm.
Glimpse.
Another catch. Again, it's the 2 supports. But it is just the 2 supports again. Can they get more? Can they turn this into anything? They're going for Roche. This will be very nice for Fighting Pandas. Doesn't necessarily mind that they don't get a core kill. If you get the supports and the Roshan,
that's great.
That's a fantastic objective to find. And maybe with that, they can try and return to looking to take one of those tier 2 towers on the mid lane or the bottom lane. Again, though, all those lanes pushed right into their side. So after getting the Aegis, they've got to back up, start the push back out. We'll see what they can find with these pickups from the Roche pit.
I actually expected Nigma to take another side by now with just split pushing, right? Or at least this tier 3. It's worrisome for them a little bit that they haven't managed to do that, and that Fighting Pandas got Aegis and Cheese right now, because at one point they became very strong and they can just push down one lane and take the game.
For a quick kill here on the double. Zemby's trying to shoot this, but he's not in the bubble, so he's not really doing too much damage at the moment. Now with the bubble ending, they will have the DPS to take him out.
Yeah, it's
Pick
scary.
Another plus 300.
It's scary how much damage he took from the double alone.
Yeah. Just a testament to how scary it is for even the cores of Fighting Pandas when they're found by Miracle's.
Where did he find an AC? What happened to this Doom?
Yeah, so it died a couple of times, and then GH is like, well, I got an AC, by the way. It doesn't matter about those deaths with
Magic.
the ways they've sort of been pushing out, taking plays. 33 minutes in, this Doom's good to go. He's been devouring those creeps, getting that money from their broken bones. And he's got good funds.
This smoke that they just did would work really well if the bottom lane was pushed in, because someone would have to def it, and then the trap would be set. This way, maybe they go back into their jungle. Let's see, snaking might be the one.
Let's see what they can
see him.
go for a grab on GH. He's going to be the first one to make the jump. To commit onto the Beastmaster. Envy turns, fires out the multi-shot to try and push Nigma back. Again, another fight where GH will be the first to pull. They do get the grab this time on a core. Roars out onto mind control. Glimpse back as well. The core miracle. A fantastic glimpse from Moon Meander. Sets up a huge pick. This time, no messing around from the boys on Fighting Pandas as they get 3, including 2 of the cores. As Moon, I mean, consistently throughout this game, his catches have been phenomenal. That one was the big one, not tunnel visioning onto Mike, just saying, hey guys, we got a core. He's looking for the bigger targets, and he finds the Miracle is gone out of the game for a full minute.
And it's not easy to find Miracle. He's always on the outskirts. He always uses the Shadow Blade. However, Moon Meander found the right opportunity, and he glimpsed him back into the fight.
Massive moves.
Without him, it's super easy for Fighting Pandas to push in.
See mind control. He's instantly sort of in the base, trying to keep them drawn away. Kuro, he steps forward, he falls. Rio's got to be careful.
This could be game.
He's dead. He's got no buyback.
This could be game right here.
It looks like it is. Well, it's got 2 ahead of us, but it's pretty bad for Nigma. If Fighting Pandas realize that there's no buybacks, I guess they're short on the gold, right? They didn't use them.
They will take the Raxes. I believe that's the goal.
They're going to get at least that, but big plays from Fighting Pandas, and as I really said, on this Disruptor Moon, that pick off, that grab on Miracle being the catalyst for them to push like this. Nigma crumbling as Fighting Pandas, yeah, they're not done yet. They know that these buybacks aren't coming out. They've still got 10 clean seconds to take what they want, and of course they clear off objectives very fast. With their auras, with their damage, they've just taken 2 sets of racks.
This is literally why I was worried for Nigma. It doesn't matter how farm this Arc Warden is. At one point, the enemy cores become stronger, and if they catch you, you're a glass cannon, you die in a matter of seconds, and you don't want to buy a BKB. That's also a problem, so that glimpse will always work against you. They catch him, they kill him off, and suddenly 2 sides down.
Very impressive stuff here from Fighting Pandas. Miracle, he's back in the game, and he's training with the Tempest double, trying to force the pressure back on down bottom. But now 9k ahead, Fighting Pandas, really sort of against the odds, just catching that Arc Warden, taking Miracle out. One mistake, that's all it takes.
Just one.
And suddenly, this game very much in a position where Fighting Pandas, if they get any sort of opportunity, even sort of relatively close to that, they will run down that final 3rd lane and close up the game.
Look at this SF. Daedalus, Skadi, Monkey King Bar. He doesn't even care about the bubble any longer. He's just very difficult to deal with. Or is he? Let's see. Yeah, he is. Confirmed.
I've got to say, Miracle, okay, he's going to be able to keep that one alive. Other than that, though, he has been losing a fair few of these Tempest doubles, and that has been quite a contribution to the gold that Fighting Pandas have been able to build up. You know, never, even when they were sort of behind, they were never that far behind in gold because of how well their heroes have been farming.
I'm wondering just what made them go for the Arc Warden. I haven't seen him picked at all in the current patch, right? And there are heroes that could do just as much as he does, but that do not fill the same role like Lina. That's the problem here. Like, we wants to be picking off people and just farming, right, and doing these plays from distance. And Arc Warden wants to do the same thing. Once they're on top of you, you both have to run.
And we haven't mentioned, but obviously one of the very nice news like this was about Weeha. Well, he's dead. What's he doing now on his own? He's trying to go for his little bit of a split pushing, but Fighting Pandas more than prepared to find him. As you know, we're seeing this point where the cores of Nigma, they're starting to crumble a little bit. Miracle with that bit of out of position and not having the buyback down bottom in that earlier fight, and now Weeha getting caught out when he's trying to go for these split push plays. It's going to heavily hurt Nigma.
Yeah, they're getting their travels, right? Disruptor can pretty much just stand on one lane and catch anyone off. Then Snaking can follow up with travels or anyone else. So they're getting all the items that they need to stop split push from happening, and Mind Control might be in problems too.
See what he can find. Obviously, Raw's still on cooldown for 30 seconds, but he's given the vision. Mind Control will go for the TP out, and so will GH. No way to cancel it between the two of them at the moment, so they will escape from this. But Fighting Pandas, they're not necessarily looking for the kills there. They just want to get the push going, get the creep wave, push back in against Team Nigma. They've still got 30 seconds to play in without Weeha being in the match, and obviously he does not want to buy back. if he buys back and dies, that is game.
Arc Warden is one of the better heroes to defend with, right? Even though they have MKB, the bubble doesn't care when it's used on towers. So you can defend the tier 3 for as... I think you can do it for 15 more seconds until we is up.
You see here the bubble, of course, being that little bit of a defense that they can offer up against this very hard-hitting push of Fighting Pandas. It's not enough to save the tower, though. The tier 3 will fall. Their final set of racks exposed on this bottom lane. Fighting Pandas, they will back off, respect the fact that WeHar is back in the game.
They don't have to do anything rash like this. If there's any place where Nigma is really strong, it's at defending their own base. So you don't have to push like that. Catch them somewhere on the low grounds, anywhere across the map, and you will have that.
Mind control. I think he came over here for a bit of a solo play, but Snake King's ready. The Roar's back up. And we're seeing sort of, well, it's
no buyback.
It's back-to-back feeds from the cores of Team Nigma. Miracle down earlier in the Radiant jungle. WeHar up top in that top lane. Now Mind Control simply TPing in into 5 of them and saying, well, I want to join the feed train as well. No buyback, 70 seconds. And Miracle, he's got to be careful. Trying to push out like this. They're really starting to crumble, Nigma. And Fighting Pandas, 12k lead. And with the way they take buildings, I feel like Team Nigma, they're sort of giving this one away now. As Fighting Pandas have...
They have creeps.
They just walk in and do this.
Go in, yeah.
They're going to know that they're strong. Mind Control, his buyback being on cooldown still for 2.5 minutes. Miracle's going to try his best here with the bubble.
There's no... the creep wave was skipped, but there's a creep wave mid. So they don't have to go back. That doesn't matter that he creep skip bottom.
Here we see Nigma. They've got to make some sort of a jump if they want to stop themselves from being mega creep. They're trying to throw everything onto Brawl, but obviously this stage of the game, Brawl is so big and tanky. Static Storm controls there from Moon onto GH. GH, he's going to get turned, ripped into pieces by Brawl. As he is dead, they'll buy back on GH to try and hold, but the racks are already gone. Mega creeps are up against Team Nigma. And this game has fallen into a disastrous state for them as Fighting Pandas, I mean, they've certainly done that fight. This game, the way that they've kept their composure, you know, you can see the amount of pressure that's been on these boys. From the mid lane, Bryle getting focused, dying 4 times in the laning stage. He made an incredible comeback. The mid-game onwards, he was up there in sort of the top 2 net worth. And then the way that they've been able to make sure that even against all this split pushing, these very annoying moves that Team Nigma's been trying to make and get away with to break down the movements that Fighting Pandas have made, they haven't faltered. They've kept strong, right? And they've come out on top. They've mega creeped.
Everyone thinks that Nigma is the stronger team here, right? The more skilled, the more experienced team.
But I'm not seeing that in this game. I'm being way more impressed by what Fighting Pandas have been able to do in terms of maneuvers. This is not an easy game for Fighting Pandas to play, but at this stage, they're making it look easy.
This is such a difficult game. I can't even explain it, how difficult this is to play versus a team that's strategically considered stronger than you when you're playing versus all this split pushing. But they found ways, they did it. Couple of mistakes really here and there by Nigma. The team fights that they took weren't brilliant, but Fighting Pandas definitely exploited that in their favor.
Yeah, and we have here the stats, of course. You know, despite the game getting harder and harder, Miracle's still able to hit good timings on his item here, as we're having presented by Gosu AI. But at this stage, it doesn't feel like enough. Sure, he's got the Hex, but that's not really going to help you against the Megas. Suddenly, that split push that like WeHar, Mind Control's been trying to go for on your own, it's so much harder to do. You're doing it against Mega Creeps. You're not just going to easily be able to spend 10 seconds getting the lane pushed back onto Radiant's half of the map. It's not that easy anymore for Nigma at all. This game is very, very hard for them to take back into their favor. One more mistake from Nigma and this game is truly over.
If you were playing versus almost any other hero but Arc Warden, this game would already be done, right? You would take this rush and you would just run down mid. But because you're playing versus Prophet and versus Arc Warden, you have to pace yourself. You have to take your time, wait for the rush to respawn and then push.
And to the pit they go. Roshan will be up in just a second. Perfect timing here for Fighting Pandas. As they'll move in and take this, there's no chance of Nigma getting anywhere close to this with just the physical DPS that Fighting Pandas do. Roshan does not stand a chance. They'll try for the jump in. She just gets 2 shot. 1,400 crits coming out from Brawl. Multi-shot there over onto Kuro. Miracle's trying to help the fight out, but WeHar stepped in, gets Rawn. He's dead. Double buybacks are coming out from Nigma. But what are they able to do with them? Mind Control's going for the TP, but Moon, again with these catches, there's no stopping the Fighting Pandas as Brawl gets the triple kill.
That's game.
The bullied has become the bully as Bryle is just this unstoppable beast right now with the way that his friends have banded together and built him up. They
feels so
cannot
good.
deal with the SF in these fights. FP, they're going to walk down mid. There's no way Nigma can defend this. This has got to be game one done and dusted.
You can throw your bubbles all you want. They're still going to hit those buildings in those 5 seconds that they're down, and they will take them down because they hit so hard. Bryle, I believe he even wants to walk into it. He has all the support he needs.
And here we have it, the tier 4s slowly falling.
Yeah, look at him. He's just in front there. He doesn't care.
You can't make a play on this SF right now. Maybe you can the one. Can you do it the second? I don't think so. Envy, he's ready to end this one. He's just focusing down the Ancient. The Ancient is falling. GA's pop, they're ready for a bit of BM. Fighting PandaS want to get some kills before they close this one up. As they'll move around the Ancient, kill off Team Nigma. They want to break them as much as they can before going into the rest of the games this series, as Fighting PandaS will take this game one.
Amazing performance by Fighting